Hello friends, this is DMC and this is my quick review of San Eustachio caffe ground coffee. And yeah, I picked this coffee up in Marks and Spencer's for £6. It hasn't got Marks and Spencer's anywhere on this, so it's an outside company who make this coffee. A lot of it is in Italian. There we go, at the bottom it says wood roasted ground coffee, and on the back it says San Eustachio Caffe blend 100% Arabica Superior is composed of the finest mild coffees from the world, naturally and gently wood roasted and air cooled to obtain a unique taste and fragrance. A selection of coffee naturally low in caffeine for real connoisseurs of espresso, ideal for preparing Italian cappuccino. And there we go, there's more information there, web address and such. It's finally English on the pack. It says the best before date is on the bottom of the can, vacuum packed in a modified atmosphere to conserve freshness once opened. Refrigerate. Yeah, as I said, it was £6 for 250 grams, made in Italy. And if we take a look underneath, the best before date is 04/07/2019, so that's well over a year on the best before date. And yeah, I did notice after a little tip from one of my viewers, Brian, it's got a date on the side there which says the 27/05/17, so that was roasted or packaged earlier this year, and the best before date is well over 2 years after the date on the side of the tin there. So it's got a very long shelf life, this coffee, and they put a 2-year best before. If that is the date when it was packaged, it's like a 2-year shelf life what they put on this coffee. As I say, it's for filter and cafetiere, this coffee, and their preparations for use says 6 to 8 minutes recommended infusion time. And there's the other information there. Caffeine is, I think that is 1.18% or 1-18%, I'm not sure what that actually means. And there is the address for the company that makes this coffee. From what I've found online, there's an actual cafe in Rome, which this coffee is linked to somehow. That's all that I can really find out about the coffee. Reviews are not the best from what I can see as well. So if we take a look at the ground coffee, it's quite an uneven grind, this coffee. It's quite dark, sort of reddish look to it, but as I say, it's quite an uneven grind, and there are quite fine particles in there, and especially if you're using a French press or a cafetiere, that isn't really good, which this coffee says it is ground for. I was getting that really sort of sludge at the bottom, a lot of sludge at the bottom of the cups, and I was having to leave like a quarter of the cup because of the amount of particles that I got into my drink. I don't think it was my cafetiere because I've tried other coffees and it's been pretty fine. So I did have a sort of problem with this coffee, brewing it in a French press. The aroma is really chocolatey, it's quite nutty, but in a strange way it's not the actual nut I'm picking up, it's a kind of sort of nutshell aroma, you know, sort of like when you're deshelling walnuts, that sort of aroma that I'm picking up. I'm also picking up a slight lemon aroma too. If I'm honest, it does smell slightly stale and not very appealing. It's a blended coffee and does have a sort of Honduran or Guatemalan feel to it, this coffee. But as I say, it's not a really very appealing aroma to this coffee, I find. So, the first thing taste-wise is it's a very, very acidic coffee, and that's the only real standout thing from this coffee, because it's not really got much going for it. It's a slightly chocolatey, slightly nutty, very slight lemon, even slight tobacco notes. It's got a slight malted cereal taste, and it's a bit sort of cardboardy. It also reminds me of a sort of bitter tea, taste-wise, especially if you drink that last mouthful that contains the sludge at the bottom of the cup. So I'm not the biggest fan of this coffee. It's drinkable just, but it's that acidity that is there in every mouthful of this coffee that really spoils it for me. I'll drink it seeing as I paid £6, but I wouldn't really recommend it, and I wouldn't buy it again. If I'd paid £3 or less, it would probably be in the bin, I think. And yeah, it's another sort of fancy Italian coffee with high expectations. I'm sort of being disappointed. Yeah, it's not a very good coffee, so as I say, I wouldn't recommend it. So I'd like to hear from anyone who's tried this coffee. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more coffee reviews in the future, subscribe to my channel. That was my quick review. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.